You are now listening to For All Nerds Show, a podcast about geek and pop culture from the perspective of people of color. For All Nerds is hosted by DJ Benhameen and Tatiana King Jones. For All Nerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
For All Nerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/ForAllNerds. Welcome to For All Nerds.
And what's up, y'all? And welcome to another episode of the For All Nerds Show, the voice of the urban geek, the podcast where we discuss geek and pop culture from the perspective of people of color. You like that little pause right there? I'm still recovering right now. I was about to call this party I'm doing tomorrow night the recovery, because that's how I'm feeling right now. But yes, it's your boy, DJ Benhameen, a.k.a. Reading Rambro, Benny and the Jetsons, a Wakandan werewolf in London, Howard University's own Kevin Bacon of the Internet's the anti-trife equation here in the spaceship tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon of the Internet. So I had to bring that back.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Then that's for real how I was feeling this weekend. Oof. It was a lot. And as you can see, as always, I'm joined by
Tatiana King, the Grand Duchess of Tech, also known as T'Challa Bread, also known as Ravana Ren Player, a.k.a. Scroll Obsidian, Miles Tales the Prowler, Clan Destiny's Child, Tesseract Thompson, and the coldest winter soldier ever.
That might be a shirt. I mean, all those could be, we got a lot of ideas out here, as we do. But yeah, welcome back. How you feeling right now? Because it's...
Yeah.
I'm out of it. I ain't gonna lie, y'all.
Well, I'm like hype. I'm like energized.
I'm hype. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I'm hype. I'm rejuvenated. Like, whew.
You did a lot. Yeah, so this
We
past
did a
week,
lot.
We did. This past week was...
Last 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. We ain't been here
But
in a
let's
minute.
work our way backwards. So the last thing we did was Howard University Homecoming. And when
how?
I say that I am full, right? Like, I always get my life at HUHC. It is the place to be. Come party with me. From New York to DC. I can keep going. But
Bars.
but like, no, for real. Like, first of all, I'm this type of person where I just love school, period. I mean, I'm a nerd, whatever. Yeah. But I especially appreciated my time at Howard. If I had to do it again, I would absolutely do it over and over again.
Ain't no question.
Temporal loop is fine. Because I enjoyed myself. I learned so much. I grew up there. I learned myself. I learned my friends and family and this and that. Like, the person who I am now is because of Howard University. And like, just without a doubt, shadow of a doubt, how much I love Howard and love the people that are my family now, right? And some people I don't fuck with, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. But
that's any family.
That happens in the family too. But I feel good. I know, like, you besides DJing and meeting up with a million people, going out all types of hours of the night and stuff like that, like,
and day,
like, I was outside as well, but like, I don't feel tired at all. In fact, I just felt like I didn't do enough. I'm like, oh, there's more parties and more events I didn't go to. So
I think I did enough. I mean, there could have been a couple more I could have squeezed in. There was one day I had to set up for one party and I missed this other party. So that was kind of, that hurt. And I knew it was going to happen like that, but I had to help my boy out. You know what I mean? That's what family does. So, we did that. Yeah. So I did that. I took that L. But not like, okay, the last homecoming I went to was a few years ago. I think it was right before pandemic. And I did not have the best time. I'll be dead ass honest. I was like, I don't know if I'm coming back to homecoming for a while. And I didn't, because of various circumstances. But this year, a lot of my original crew were like all determined to be there. We had that event. So I was like, this is destiny. I got to be there. And I had a effing blast. Like,
see?
Oh, man.
You need your peoples there. Like,
yes.
I will say that. That's another thing about homecoming. You got to be up there with the peoples that you ran with.
Yes. Because I wasn't there with all of my peoples and there just wasn't that many of us, and we kept getting separated. But this time we were all together. Like it was a lot of us this time because
gang.
My crew, shout out FNC from Howard, was a mob, and is to this day. Like our WhatsApp group is still there was 23 of us. That was our largest count of like main, crew, and then with extended family, it got to like 40, 50 people of Howard. So we were a mob, you know what I mean? And so we're still like a mob to this day. Like at least I think there's like 15, 16 of us in the WhatsApp chat. So a good 10, 12 of us made it this time to the campus. And it was glorious. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and just the whole
glorious purpose.
yeah, glorious purpose, boy. And it was just like everything was great. Like, shout out to my brother DJ Armageddon. Like, as soon as I touched down on Wednesday night, I was DJing at 18th Street Lounge. That was a beautiful party, and it just set the whole week off. Then the next night, I was up at Park with my man Alamo and Omar. Then Friday, we were at, I don't know, everything gets blurry after that. I ain't gonna lie. We were just about focus. It was a lot, just
That means you
party
did it
after
right.
party. Yeah, we did it well. I asked you this though because I know you were at different parties than me because I didn't see you nowhere.
Nope.
Yeah,
I did not go to your parties.
and that's so crazy. That's how because my shit was lit, and so I know yours.
I'm sure
was
there
lit.
were,
And
but
it's like there was that many joints.
It was honestly it was parties overlapping parties. There were times where I was supposed to go to 2, maybe 3 parties at the same, like
we might have
span
missed
of
each
time.
other in different joints. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I mean, it got too much where like you was at one you was like one place and it was
Did you
just
know
like,
you
nah,
know
I can't
about
leave.
Guru and Ninth Wonder at Eaton, right? At the hotel?
No.
You didn't know about that? That shit
No.
was lit, man. That shit was lit.
No.
Late night.
And I think also like because we're from 2 different like generations.
Yeah.
Like
you were hearing about different joints.
I was hearing about completely different things. So I had no idea. It wasn't really until I saw your pictures. So I was like, oh shit, Guru's there and Ninth One and all these people. Like I didn't realize everybody
Lance
was
Gross
up there.
was up in that. Yeah.
Yeah. Lance.
See, Lance is
up.
more your, right? Is he
Lance
like,
is older. No,
he's
so
older than you. Yeah, he's
he
after
was graduating when I came in.
Yeah, okay,
like
that's how it is.
time,
Yeah,
so.
he's like my Ananda. Like when I came in, Ananda was
Ananda?
graduating. Yeah,
Oh.
child.
but
she
I
was
did,
on the yard, you know what I mean?
But I did hear about the event he was at just because
right there.
Because it was it's adjacent to my group. But
yeah.
Point being is,
that nigga had on them. Shouts to Lance, but that nigga had on them denims that Drake be wearing now. Like, I guess it's rich nigga denim, and I just don't know nothing about it. But what the fuck are them?
What do you
shits?
mean, rich nigga denim? What do you mean?
You know what it is? Them shits that Drake had on with the big ass pockets on the front that look like acid wash, and they're giant sized.
Oh,
and
you mean like
they got like these zippers on
like
the
Hot
front?
Topic type jean codes?
Yes, and that's what Drake be rocking right now.
That's not rich nigga denim. That's just.
I mean,
2K
that's what I'm
vibes.
saying. Janko was broke nigga denim to me, but like now, Drake. I know what they wearing are not no Jinkos. They might look like Jinkos, but they cost 2 racks or some dumb shit. And that's what they always say. Well, this costs 3 racks.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Designer doesn't mean drip. That's all. That's the rule of the game. Designer does not mean drip.
Yeah. All right.
But let's answer your question, which was you were gonna ask me about like what I
was
heard
the
or
most
what I
overheard
did.
song you heard this weekend? Like, what was the one that they kept bringing back? Like, remember this?
Oh,
yes.
We didn't. Well, it was strange because there was one party that I floated into that was actually for a class like several years older than us, but like it was still like a lot going on, so it was like shit, we might as well. Like one of my parties was ending, and we was like, yo, let's just go to the party down the street. So we floated in there, and it was cool. But then it was just like they was playing shit like they kept they kept playing Mary J. I mean, it was a good one, Mary J. Blige and Method Man. They kept playing that over and over and over again.
Over at the same party.
No, just like anytime I went to a party that was with like the older crew.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah,
they just kept playing that shit over and over again. You might have been stepping
into some of the spots I was in because I heard that too much.
And I was just like, okay. I
heard fuck them other niggas way too much.
Okay, they played that, but like as far as playing stuff, like what they like, do you remember that? Like my stuff is like we're talking about Soulja Boy, and stuff like that, and they didn't play that too much. Honestly, at the parties. The parties from my class, like they played some of the 2000 stuff, but then they went into some new stuff. It was a mix. It was a very good mix. Honestly, the stuff that I heard over and over again, regardless of where I was Sexy Red.
Wow. See, thank God I didn't.
everywhere.
Thank God I didn't.
Including at the game. So, shout out to the football team for winning.
Yes.
Hey.
I was standing outside for the game, so I missed that too, but thank God. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good on that. Yeah. Now, I heard F the Mother way too much, and a few others that were just like, all right, I don't need to go back again and again. But beyond that, Homecoming was amazing.
It was amazing.
Shout out to Howard. We back up in there next year. That's a guarantee. Yeah. And
I don't understand people, like me and my friend were talking about this. We don't understand people who be like, yo, especially to this day, be like, I don't F with Howard. I don't really be doing something. I'm like, that sounds like a personal problem, because if you had a horrible time and still not really fucking with Howard like that, I just think that you just didn't make it. You didn't make the best out of it. And this is excluding people who've really had some stuff happen to them and things go down.
I understand.
We're not talking about that. We're just talking about people who was either antisocial or is just haters or whatever, that just had a bad time, that still got a chip on their shoulder. It's just like, nah, bro. Like, you should have made that experience what you could have made it into. There's so many different people from around the world, literally from around the world. Black people of every type, shape, and size at Howard. Damn near every language is being spoken there. So it's just like, you couldn't find your peoples there at Howard?
Man, shout out to my brother Aristotle from Tanzania, who came through with the Tanzanian green while I was at Howard one time.
Really?
And brought it back from the motherland. and had me nice, my bro. That's still my favorite to this day. Yeah, but like, that's what I'm saying. When I took that picture, like, that's what people are saying. Like, I was at school with a crazy time, but Howard is always like that. Like, I'm standing next to my brother, DJ Trauma, you know what I mean? Well established, all kind of different things. And then Ta-Nehisi Coates and Guru, who were like classmates of mine. You know what I mean? And that's just how it is. So
and DJ Benhameen.
I mean, I've done a few things.
You're a legend, sir.
I mean, we all stand
legends, man.
We all stand shoulder to shoulder. I mean,
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I ain't just I'm not gonna be in the picture if I ain't gonna be representing. You know what I mean? I ain't one of them cats. Hey, let me take a picture with you now. Like, these are my fucking G's. You know what I mean? Like, come on, this is my peoples right here. But speaking of being legends and all that, whew.
Praise God. Praise.
Shout out to Mr. Walker. Shout out to Leslie, man. We gotta have them on the show like ASAP. We gotta have Les on the show ASAP, because I want people to, you didn't get to. Mans took me on the tour, and just hearing them, Leslie speaking about everything was like, yo, I need this cat on the show so they can see a black person doing this type of work, and having this type of knowledge. Like, Leslie is our connect who brought us in, and they took me on a tour of I now know it, right? I always
You're not black if you don't fuck it up.
The National Museum of African American History and Culture.
Yay!
Yes! The NMAAHC. Because I know it now, because I've been up in that hole, and I still didn't go all the way through it. Obviously, it takes forever and a day to go all the way through it.
You need multiple days to really explore.
Yes, to really. Because
that was your first time, right? Because I've been there last year.
Ever. Yeah, first time ever. And Leslie took me first to the Afrofuturism Exhibit, and we spent some time in there because I was about to cry at a lot of shit. Like, Outcast 1200 was like. They have Outcast SP 1200, and it's the machine that it was on the back cover of the Elevator single. Like, if you look at it, there's a picture of Andre and them, and they had SP and the MPC and all these records, because that's what they produced AT Aliens themselves, and that's one of the machines they did it on. And the SP 1200 is like what Pete Rock is legendary for using. A lot of legendary producers use it. To me, it's like, if you can use it well, you're an effing genius, because it just, the limitations that you have to work around to make dope shit with it are so crazy. So people like Pete Rock and Outkast are geniuses, and they had it right there. They got Andre's notebook. And
did you feel like you were looking at the Tesseract or something? Like,
that was
you were so close.
That was like, it was like seeing Andre's notebook and reading it, and I took pictures so I could like read his notes later, because it's like, these are the notes, and he's like talking about Elevators as a song and like as a concept. And it's just like, this is one of, my favorite groups of all time. And AT Aliens is one of my favorite albums of all time. And it's just, and it's such an Afrofuturistic thing, and that was what's so ill. And there was so much things about the museum that I was just loving, like the music section alone. And like, I got to talk to the dude who actually coordinates that, because Leslie was telling me he has this idea where they want to take it out of genres, where it's just all African music and it's just genreless, like everything mixed together. And I'm like, yes, because genres are mainly caused by racism, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, man, go to this fucking museum. Like, no, because that's like one of my boys was like, yo, I thought it was all like, the sad shit and everything.
No, it's our culture. It's trying to be representative of African American Black culture. Yep. And of course the influences of the diaspora into the culture itself, because the culture American Black is also Black people from all over the world. People come from all over the world to America.
Yep.
Black people. So all of the different the influences, the sauces, the spices, all of that.
It's amazing, man. They have, it's amazing. The music shit is just so. And Leslie was like, this is 10% of the museum's collection in this building.
Now that's what shook me. Because like I said, I was there last year and I got to go through, and I was pretty much there almost a whole day and still didn't finish. And I was like, yo, this is pretty comprehensive. But for you to tell me,
this is pretty comprehensive.
This is pretty comprehensive. For you to tell me like, oh no, this is only 10% and like the other 90% is in like a warehouse somewhere. I'm like, what?
Like, I know someone who just negotiated with them or is working on a project with them. I can't even say about, like, with the musicians, like, entire collection. And so there's, like, more stuff to come.
Yeah, because, like, they're rotating out exhibits. Yeah. They're doing different things. Like, I know when they do they did stuff for Hip Hop 50. Like, and that's just, again, scratching the surface. That's why I was like, I should have realized. Like, you're scratching the surface of the immense, I don't even want to say the word contribution, the fabric of American culture.
Yeah, pretty much like all American culture. Well, not all, but a large majority of American culture is based on African culture.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's just, when you see it here, like, one of the ones that was just fucked me up, because I knew this, but it's just like to be smacked in the face by it, is there was this little plaque. And this little plaque is talking about punk and go-go music, and how they both started in DC in the 1980s.
This shit's crazy.
Punk rock is started by Bad Brains and some other groups, black groups. Remember, all black rock groups created punk rock. And then Chuck Berry over here hears this drum beat and creates go-go. And it's like in DC in the 80s right there. Two, genres, whatever you want to call them, forms of music come up right there in one city in one time. Both black as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, and that's just that little plaque right there. So much is in that little plaque.
Yeah. And besides being like blown away by the museum, like we were blown away by being able to be moderators for such an incredible panel. Like, again, I think it was just perfect fit. Again, shout out to Leslie. Like, you did that in terms of, like, first of all, thank you again. Grateful, humbled for even being selected in the first place to lead the conversation. But to have the people that we had Tim Fielder, right? We had Jonathan Gales, right? We had Eve Ewing. Just really incredible minds, creators, and leaders in African-American culture, Black culture.
And Afrofuturism.
And they're all Afrofuturists. We are all Afrofuturists, right? So again, thank you to everyone who showed up. Thank you to everyone who cosplayed. Like, there was a misty night. There was a Sailor Moon. Like, thank you. Like, y'all, like, did that. I was so happy. I was like, they listened to me. So, the people who showed up with their superhero t-shirts. I think there was one person who actually had a ForAllNerds type t-shirt on. I'm very happy about that. And then there were tons of people on the live stream. And because y'all asked questions. We had questions for the audience in the live stream. Like, it was just very impactful, and everyone kept coming up to us and saying that they felt inspired. At the end of the talk, at the end of the conversation, that they really felt inspired. They felt like they learned something, that they gained something from it. Sometimes you sit down, people just be talking, people be chatting, chatty-patty, but they're not saying nothing. But apparently we were saying some things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you definitely need to peep that. The YouTube is up. Shout outs to Tim Fielder, because he especially took a moment and recognized Tatiana and I. And that's something that I feel like we don't do enough of ourselves, because I come from, I just come from a very, pretty much right above blue collar family, and if not, I mean, my grandparents are less than blue collar. So it's straight up work your ass off, is how I come. And I come from Combat Jack, where it's like, it does not stop. And Dallas Penn, who always says, the only reward for a job well done is more work. So, that's just where I come from. And I'm always like, yo, what's next? And even before we got to the Smithsonian and did the panel, I'm like, well, this is cool, but what's next? That's all I was thinking. And then when we get there and Leslie's walking me around this place, I'm like, holy fuck, tonight we're going to speak at this shit,
Yeah, man. In the Oprah Winfrey Theater.
In the Oprah Winfrey Theater. And then afterwards, when people are coming to me, and not even there, but there was amazing, but all weekend it happened to me, like, at homecoming, people are coming up to me like, yo, man, I just really appreciate your show, and I really appreciate your journey and everything you've been doing. And when people say that, it's like, because me, I'm always not satisfied. That's another thing. I grew up just, maybe it's like his mother's. You're never satisfied. So it's like, I always want more, and I always think I'm not doing enough. So when people come up to me and like, yo, your journey, I'm just like, fuck, man.
Yeah, like I was getting that too from people. I was just like people I didn't realize. They was like, yeah, I be listening to you all the time. Like friends, people I came up with at Howard. Yes. They were like, I'm so proud of you. People who I came up with Howard were at the event. They said, I am proud of you.
Yep. And like all weekend at the event, and all weekend I was hearing it from people, and I'm like, yo, this is like, normally when people say that to me, they appreciate my journey and stuff. I'm just like, man, yeah, but but this weekend I was really like, nah, man, yo, that's crazy, yo. Yeah. Thank you, fam. It's like flooring me to hear this shit, because I was like really taking a moment and be like, nah, like we have done a lot, and we have to appreciate what we've done, and we mean a lot. And like that panel was like the culmination of what we've been doing for 10 years. And I know we didn't get to do our 10-year anniversary party yet, but shit, we'll maybe do it next year and celebrate. It don't matter. But that was a moment, and for Tim to say that on stage, it's made me like, that's why I did that post today. And that's why I'm going to keep talking about this event and keep talking about what we've been doing, because I'm like, yo, we really got to be like, nah, fuck that, because I'm like, fuck that a lot. But I don't feel like I'm like, fuck that loudly enough. Yeah. Or like, I'm like, fuck that internally. I'm not like, and it's not even about fuck that. It's more about like, yo, just putting yourself out there. Like, nah, man, we do this. Yes. Like somebody was like, yo, when are you going to have Ta-Nehisi on the show? And I'm like, bro, all right, I guess I got to go repost that, because we've already had him on the show twice. Right. Like that's the thing. People don't realize this about us. It's like they don't know everything because we don't talk about it enough.
This is right. And so you're going to see a lot more of that. You're going to see probably, even if you're a long-time listener, I'm sure there's stuff that you missed. As Benhameen said, it's been 10 years. We've had thousands probably of episodes now, right? So I'm sure there's things you missed, but you're going to see some.
I think what we'll do is like, because like even one of my favorite shows, what they've been doing, this YouTube show, Pitch Meeting. Shout out to Pitch Meeting, one of my favorite things on YouTube if you don't know about it. It's fucking brilliant. My man is brilliant behind it. And what he's been doing, because he does 2 a week or 1 a week for like years now, and he got burnt out. And he said, so he does these revisits where he takes his old ones and then talks about them, talks about what went into him back then, how he feels about it now. Does he feel the same way about that film? So I think we should do that, repost some of our old shows and be like, we'll listen to it first and then do a little, 10-minute.
I might just be critiquing myself the whole time.
I know, but fuck it. It'll be great. It'll be great. It'll be great to do it because it'll, help us improve. And yes, I already talked to Ta-Nehisi. That's my bro. As soon as I saw him, I was like, bro, you got to come back. He's like, of course, man. So, he's coming back. Guru's coming back. I mean, Guru been on this whole, 3, 4?
Guru was basically like, it was times, I felt like Guru was like times where every other month he was on the show. And
at first it took us forever to get him on here. Let's keep it real. But then once he was on here,
him and Just Blaze.
Just Blaze, we got to have
Just
back.
like always on the show.
But see, people might not remember that because it's been a few years now.
Just Blaze been on the show like 6 times.
I know, but people might, because there's a lot of new listeners. You know what I mean? It's been a few years. We definitely even slowed down on our interviews over the last few years. We've been more like just me and you, because it's like, we don't always need somebody, but sometimes people got to understand, this is what we do.
This is what we do.
Eve definitely got to come through.
Yes.
Because goddamn, she was so brilliant on that stage. I mean, all of them were. But like my boy said, shout out to my brother Damon. He's a long-time listener, that's my bro from day one at Howard. And he was like, yo, he was in the audience. And, First of all, he was shocked because I didn't make, see, once again, I don't talk my shit enough. I didn't even make it clear to my WhatsApp group that
like
I was
what
hosting this.
you were doing.
Yeah, they were just
well,
like,
you were just there?
Yeah, like I was just gonna be on the panel or something, and I was like, "No, bro."
But even that is a big thing. But
I know, but they don't. They're slow. You got to be. I mean, not slow, but you know what I mean. They got to be. You got to be like. They got a million things going on. Everybody got things going on, and so they were busy, and they wouldn't have been in the making anyway. They were all busy as shit. Everybody had mad things going on for homecoming.
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting them to be there, but Damon made it through, and Damon, has a daughter. Shout out to Riley. She's actually done a review for us before. And he was like in the audience saying like trying not to cry because he's sitting there thinking about Riley and he's thinking about, like her growing up and Eve, he's like, everybody was great. Tim was great. Jonathan was great. Y'all were great. But when Eve started dropping shit, he was like, that's when I was about to cry. Because what she was saying was so relevant to his daughter growing up because his daughter's a nerd who's a black nerd who at some points might be the only black nerd in her school. So she has to grow up with this type of stuff. So, it was a moment, man, for people. Shout out to my boy Joe Hawthorne, another HU alumni, and him and his wife were there. And they were just like, afterwards, he was just sitting there like, yo, bro, like, this was something.
Yeah. What up, Brandon? Thank you so much for coming, by the way. I appreciate you so much. That's my homie. That's my engineering homie when I was in school of engineering. So,
shout out to my brother, Backlook Cinema Podcast. My bro was in the house in his glowing shoes and still didn't. I bid up your shoes, bro. And he was like, we did not get a picture together. I'm like, fam, you scream on me on the internet and then you won't take a picture with me.
And then,
that's my G, man. Shout out to you, bro. I love you. And I was, that's why I'm mad. Like, I'm mad we didn't get a picture because I really fuck with you tough. And I was like, we should have got that pic, man. Come on. But next time, I'll be back in DC and I'll let you know.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of people I love show up too. My family showed up.
My sister was there.
Yes, your sister, and I finally got to meet her.
I know, yes. I didn't even see that. I looked at her
and I said, I always hear about you.
I didn't even see that moment. Damon got to meet her. I didn't even see this.
I looked at her like, I was looking like Miss Minutes or something. I was just like, well, what the hell are you doing here? I just know about you. I just heard about you all these years. I've never seen you. So it was nice to meet her.
Shout out to Fee Money, man. That was so amazing, to look out in the audience and see her there. Like that was yeah, that was great, man.
So we had a good time at DC.
Yeah. We had a good time in DC.
Shout out to everybody. I had fun.
Wow. We had a time. A time was had, boy.
Yeah. But you'll see a lot more. Like I said, we have been re-energized. The battery is in the back. So, not to say we haven't been grinding, but it's going to be another, you get the wave of passion and creativity. You get the Renaissance, right? Renaissance. I'm sorry, I'm stuck in Beyonce's concert still.
Ooh, wait till I drop this remix though.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Wait.
But it's a lot. We're pushing, and again, if you have an event, if you work at a school, if you work at a museum, whatever it is, and you want some people to come in and talk about the culture, to talk about whether it's be about fandom or pop culture or Afrofuturism or whatever, this is what Benhameen and I do. I don't think people realize, besides being media professionals, we're also hosts, right? We also culture commentators. We all of these different names and titles that you can hear. This is what we do.
And we look good. We look good while doing it. I mean, we were shining up on that stage, if I do say so myself.
I was actually a little scared. When I looked back and I saw our picture, I said, oh, shit, it is kind of...
That shit was so fire.
Like, oh, that's official. I never looked back again.
Oh, man, right? For real. I didn't either after the first time. I was like, I just know how badass it looks behind me, so I'm just going to keep looking forward.
Yeah, but it's I'm just happy. It's a long time coming. And also, this just reminds me, and this is I know this is relatable to everybody. This reminds me of when you're sitting there, you're like, when is it going to be my time? You're just like, I'm doing all the work, and it's like, damn, your time is your time. You got to keep going though.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's what I was talking about, and I think that's something that everyone out there can relate to, and I think people understand is that you have to appreciate all the time, because your time, like you said, is your time. Because that moment could have passed me by, and I could have been like, but when it will be my time?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I hadn't really sat there and been like, no, look.
Sooner than you think.
Yeah, this is my time right here.
Yeah.
Because I might be thinking, oh, I'm not doing this or I'm not doing that, but I'm doing this.
Yes.
And this is awesome.
Yes.
You know, and sometimes you have to and you have to appreciate that. Like,
stop comparing yourself to others.
It's the hardest lesson I've struggled with, y'all. Like, I mean, even coming back from this, I came back from this awesome 2 weeks. We'll talk about NYCC, and then right away, I got 3 weddings this weekend, and I'm like, ugh. But then I got 3 weddings this weekend. You know what I mean? I gotta look at that. I can DJ 3 times, get paid a nice amount of money. It's not really that much stress. I'm still doing what I love. It might not be in the format that I really love, but it's still doing what I love. And so I got to be appreciative of this because a lot of DJs ain't working, and it's like I am. So, you know, it's these, and that this is my time because these times lead to the other times. So it's like, you got to appreciate all the moments, man. And that's like the hardest thing. And then you got to really sit there and be thankful for the big moments and really take the time to be like, okay, no, I did something. I worked hard. And I deserve this, and you know, this is the fruit of my rewards. And it's like, here it is. Let me really enjoy this, and that's what I've been doing. Like, for real.
When I say, I really truly believe there was nobody else that could have hosted that. Like, it
not in that way. No way.
And that's what I'm saying. And I don't mean that in a snotty way.
Every
I mean that in a like
unique. Yeah, every person is a unique star, and we are 2 unique stars.
When I say, like I said, your time's a time. When I say it was like quite perfect fit, like. It embodied everything we've been doing these last 10 years. And so it made sense. Like, it was just like, oh, like, you know, I'm supposed to be here on the timeline. Great. It was like, and that's probably why I didn't feel nervous or anything. Like, got there, had all that energy, and I was just like, no, I'm good.
Yeah. I had a lot of energy, but I'm just hyped, you know, because I know that I just want to come out there and rock shit. And I came out there and was definitely rushing through words at the beginning of it. But, you know.
It's fine.
Yeah, you slow down, and then we got in the groove and rock shit, you know, and it was fucking amazing. And, you know, y'all can watch the whole thing on YouTube. And, you know, we'll be reposting it, probably do a, you know, recap show of that and, you know, repost that. We, you know, need to talk about it some more.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a break?
Yeah, might as well. Let's take a quick break right here, and we'll be right back with more ForAllNerds show.
Yo, it's your boy ForAllNerds. I'm tuned in to ForAllNerds.
What's up, everyone? It's your girl, Fantastic Frankie. I'm listening to ForAllNerds.
What's up? This is E-Man, and I'm listening to ForAllNerds.
Peace and elevation, everybody. My name is Crown, and you are now listening to ForAllNerds.
What's up, everybody? This is Troy Jeffrey Young, and you're watching ForAllNerds.
And welcome back, y'all. Hope you've been enjoying this. Make sure you are hitting that follow and subscribe wherever you're at. But, you know, if you can, go over to Spreaker for real and follow us on Spreaker.com. Search for ForAllNerds. Hit that follow over there as well. Hit us up on YouTube, on Twitch. We back on Twitch. If you haven't seen, I've been live playing Spider-Man 2. I'm going to be doing some more DJ sets and all that. But see, I'll be talking about it, but for real, because now, you know, you can check my history. I was on there today. I was on there yesterday. Probably be on there later on tonight, rocking some more. I'm not blown away by Spider-Man 2. I mean, okay, let me be clear here. Like, graphically, sound, the music's insane. Graphics, insane. The music, though, I gotta say that again. I actually had to turn down the rest of the sound effects today because I was like, yo, this beat right here they got is cranking.
Okay.
Yeah, I really did. Like, I was really like, yo, y'all, it was when I was streaming too. I was like, yo, y'all hear this, right? Y'all hear what I'm hearing? Because this shit right here is cranking. But graphically, it's incredible. The game opens with this big fight against Sandman, and he's like as tall as the skyscrapers. It's insane. They give you the wingsuit right away, so you're like gliding around. Now you can glide and swing, so you're able to traverse bigger spaces, but it just feels so fluid like it always does. The animations. At one point, I jumped across this rooftop and like he landed on his tiptoes and like tiptoed across this rooftop, and it was just pure, you know, because of the surface. Yeah, it was like, oh, it was just that little animation, and there's, I'm sure, thousands of those that I haven't seen yet. So that part of it, but so far it does just feel like more of the same at the same time. You know, like the combat's the same thing. You know, you're flipping around. You know, it still feels great. You know, don't get me wrong. When you're flipping all around, busting niggas' asses, it's still amazing. So
I just feel like, how can you improve upon damn near perfect?
that is
Like
the
it's
thing.
I don't want. I hate to use the word perfect, but it's like a perfect game, right? So how do
It
you
damn
improve
near
on
is.
that?
And like what?
Just
really,
give me more game, okay?
And that's the thing. What really sold me on the first two, you know, Spider-Man and the Miles Morales game, was the story at the end of it. Because it's beautiful as swinging around, and I can do that forever. I could take photos forever. Both of them combination. Had me crying at the end of them joints. Like bawling out at the end of them joints. Like, really, I think the Spider-Man, because I can't remember, did that come before God of War or what? But those are the first Spider-Man and the first God of War for PS4 were the first ones that made first games that I ever remember bawling for like that. And I cried my ass off. And I cried my ass off at the end of Miles Morales too. So yeah, I have a feeling that this is going to do the same. You know, right now I've been like, the story's kind of goofy right now. Starting off, I'm not giving no spoilers, but I'm like a little.
They're doing
But
that
I think that's set up. Yeah, it's the setup. I already know. Because it's a lot of like backstory, and they're giving you like this idyllic childhood and shit. And I'm like, oh, whatever.
Like, ha ha, somebody get their back broke, and then
yeah. So I'll have more to talk about in weeks to come. And like I say, follow us on twitch.tv/ForAllNerds and twitch.tv/DJ Benhameen. And I'll be playing and talking more about everything on there. And something else I'll probably be talking about, because after you hear this review, you'll definitely want to discuss it with me, is the first 4 episodes of Loki. Because we were back to review the first one, I think. First 2, maybe? I can't remember.
We reviewed
we saw
only the first.
Only the first? Yeah, okay. And all right, let me say this off top, right? Because I made a prediction that was absolutely wrong in the first one, and I'm going to own that. It doesn't matter, but I'm still going to own that. Because I said that they wouldn't ever refer to the Loom again. And instead, they've spent 4 episodes.
And then the whole series is about the Loom. Actually, the Loom is the plot.
The Loom is the plot. What little there is. The Loom is the plot. And it's like, why? But okay. You know, I mean, I guess y'all prove me wrong.
Why? Because that's the easiest way to show conflict. It's a cataclysmic extinction level event that must be stopped. And you only have 6 episodes to make it matter, or hope to make it matter. So they're going to choose that.
Hope to make it matter.
Hope to make it matter.
Because, like I said before, it was a constructed problem. Like, that problem didn't exist.
It was like, where did it come from?
Yeah, until episode 1 of this. We didn't know that would be a problem when she killed. We knew that the problem when she killed Hugh Remains was that the rest of the Canes would come back.
Right.
Waiting.
They didn't say that.
Waiting.
Right. Right. You're right. Because it didn't.
My man said, "See you soon."
They said if you do this, you'll free all the Kangs, and then presumably, yes, you're freeing other time. But they didn't say, "Oh, but by the way, the TVA also controls the flow of time, essentially, and because of killing him, you fucked up the one machine."
The machine got broke because you killed him.
No, the machine got
broke because the timeline split and because it wasn't built to contain it. But when he built it in the first place, it doesn't matter. Who cares? You know, like at that point, is my feeling. Like,
no, but wait, go back to that. You said everything broke down because you killed him. Yeah, but what was he holding back?
You killed him, and by killing He Who Remains, he holds back the rest of the timelines.
No, we know. But how?
Because of a machine that was connected to his heart, I guess. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying, because now you're mentioning it, I'm just like, wait a minute. Maybe I'm missing something. Okay, yes, you kill him, and he held back the other Kangs. He was controlling. He was, head of the TVA from behind the scenes. Okay, he was a whiz. Got it.
But the machine.
What does that got to do with? Right. What does that got to do with
the timelines? When he dies, they all come back. Is what it was. That's what he said. Why? That's unexplained.
You mean when he dies, all the Kanes come back?
Yes.
Okay. What does that still got to do with the number of branches and all that other stuff?
Because all the Kanes come back from different branches.
Oh, and so those branches basically popped up.
Yes. When he dies, all the branches pop up, and so all the Kanes.
Okay, so that's why now there's an issue. Okay.
But see, the issue was the Kanes coming from those branches, not the branches themselves, and that's what it's become now. The issue are the branches themselves. Right. And it's like, if only we kept these branches pruned, everything would be great. like he had it before. But he told us that it's not about the branches, it's about the Kangs. And that's why this series feels like inconsequential.
I fully expected, I mean, you saw a little bit of that in Ant-Man, but I fully expected it to be like fucking murderous Kangs going, like if any timelines and branches was getting clipped, I was waiting for him to do it himself and conquer.
Yeah.
That. So that didn't happen.
And like at least show up, I don't know.
Okay, so that's one thing.
That's one thing, right?
Yeah.
The other issue that I've had with this series so far has been the lack of Sylvie. I will say the latter 2 episodes gave me a little bit more Sylvie, especially the 4th episode. I really loved the confrontation between her and Loki in this episode. And when he's talking about Hope and she's like, nigga, please, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And I really
love that about her.
I love that about her. Even though I'm definitely the Loki side where I believe in Hope first. But she's been through it and she's like, nah, bro, you are talking a lot of nonsense right now. And that's the other problem with this thing is I've been very confused as to characters' motivations. Like, Sylvie's been like pretty clear, I'm gonna kill this dude whenever he shows up.
And she pretty much stays the course.
I don't get why Loki suddenly wants to save the TVA other than that, he wants to save the universe. But once again, that becomes this constructed problem that I can't really care about.
Over the years, Loki has become, I don't want to say soft, but over the years, Loki has developed more. He's not just a single-minded villain. And that conversation that he'd had with Brad, where Brad was like, oh, you can't be the hero and all this other stuff. Like,
yeah.
I think that's part of it, is the development of Loki. Now, if it makes sense or not is a different story, but that's what they've been driving Loki all these years, to be honest with you.
But remember, this is not the same Loki. This is the Loki who was force-fed that information. And sure,
I feel like it's at this point it's essentially the same Loki because he was told the story of the Loki that died, so he took on that persona at this point.
I get it. So, and I know I get the Loki as a hero, so I get that. So he wants to save the world, blah blah, whatever. All right, fine.
The universe.
Yeah, it just it feels inconsequential because it feels like at the end of the series they're gonna wrap this shit up. The Loom will be saved, and then the Kangs.
And people are gonna pop up, and that goes into what I wanted to say about how I felt about the series thus far. Like, there's been 4 episodes out of a 6-episode series. First of all, it took way too long to get to something that even felt of consequence. Whether or not it truly is of consequence is kind of beside the point for me. When I watch anything, I'm looking for feeling and emotion and connection. And quite literally, up until episode 4, I felt nothing. And and that is such a vast departure from what I felt watching the Kate Herron ran Loki. And I gotta say her name because I mean she did something. She put a little sauce on it, and it's just something about that direction. And I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other things that go into it, but it was something about that direction that
writing.
That I didn't want to say it. There was something about that gave me more understanding and willingness to care. I've largely have been uncaring for most of these episodes. And like the things that should be of consequence were not. And it wasn't even explained or shot or given to you in a way that mattered. For example, they had a whole speech about it in episode 4, but in episode 3, when they was fucking going in and out of doors, bombing timelines left and right, bombs over Baghdad, you were supposed to feel away. I felt nothing. Like you said, and B-15 sitting there with the color purple look, like those are billions of lives, and I'm just like, it looks like squiggly lines on a monitor to me because y'all didn't give me the understanding. If y'all, and I'm not saying it had to be this harmful, but if you sat there and showed me a fucking family getting fucking ripped into outer space, you know what I'm saying, or whatever it is, what happens when a whole timeline gets pruned, then maybe I would have been like, oh damn, there are billions. I just saw lines on a screen on a monitor getting squiggled away, and that's, like I said, there was a whole speech about this Sylvie gave to Mobius about it's just lines on the screen. Well, yes,
show me a variant of Steve Rogers and what's her name with the family and they get killed off.
Show me something. I like when Sylvie said that. I said. When Sylvie said that, was yelling at Mobius about it, I was like, actually, I feel him. If that's how he feel, I feel the same way. Like, I don't care. I don't care. Y'all didn't give me the understanding that I should care. And on top of that, like I said, there was, especially episode 2, the pacing is just, I didn't understand. Episode 2 killed me in not a good way at all. I'm not a fan of long pauses in same scene places, and whether the scene was 2 minutes long, it felt like 13. When it was in that goddamn automat eating pie, and you kept hearing the ASMR of this knife and the fork hitting the glass, and they're talking to each other like they in Starbucks or something, I was like, kill me now. Like, it was just glacial to your point. I'm just like, it started making me think like, damn, Benhameen is right. Why the fuck is we wasting all this time? I don't care. All that whole fucking scene could have been condensed into 30 seconds when y'all was in the goddamn hallway going to the pie shop.
All right, here's another one. Like, okay, the third and fourth episodes I found highly entertaining, and yet I still found the same problems that I've had since the first episode, that they're inconsequential, right? In the fourth episode, we finally got the answer to this, and we were questioning this, like, who is the one who pruned Loki in that scene? Because it's like Sylvia's opening the door, and then suddenly he gets stabbed in the back, and I thought it was Renslayer or someone, but they really don't show. And in this episode, you see that it's Loki, and it's like, Loki kind of knows he has to prune himself, I guess, because it was like, okay, but who cares? And what's the point of that time loop that you just created right there?
They're going to explain episode 6.
But I doubt
when it doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't matter. It's like he needed to get pruned so he could be on that bridge thing. And so Loki pruned him. But it's like, wow. And then in this episode, there was a moment because when Renslayer gets pruned, I'm thinking she's going to show up on that bridge thing and, somehow interfere with He Who Remains. But instead, he gets turned to spaghetti, which was great. Mom, what's on his shirt? That was great. Mom spaghetti. But the end of this episode really had me like, wow, did we really just waste 4 episodes?
Listen, I thought episode 3 and 4 were more entertaining. I mean,
yes.
Generally, I've been entertained.
Yes.
By the series, but as I go along, I'm like, does this really matter? Like, it was just giving, like, it was personification of what we learned through that Variety article, that it's like 150 million being thrown at the screen, and it's just like, just do whatever. Just do fucking whatever.
Just do whatever until you get to the next movie.
Do whatever until you get to the next movie. And it's just like, that's not what I came here for.
No.
Like, I could have read the goddamn books and been good. Like, I don't need to, like, y'all not giving me nothing. And Loki's one of my favorite characters, like, just ever. And to me, they've nerfed him so bad. Like, yes, it's the whole development, him being better and all that stuff. And yes, he's in the TVA. So at least up until episode 4, you can't use your powers in the TVA. But for that to be like episode 3, when he was fucking chasing Brad through the fucking alleyway, I was like, why is Loki running? That's the first thing that came out. I said, why is that nigga running? Why he not using his powers? Then after he's running, doing his best Catch Me If You Can impersonation, he gets to the man and then finally decides to do some magicianry. Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, all right, cool.
You could have done that from the jump.
You could have done that from the beginning. And I know how we always say, it was like, well, if you did that, there won't be no story. But I'm like, there is no story anyway.
Yes, it's a wasting of time.
There's no story anyway. It was just a lot of waste.
Once again, shout outs to Pitch Meetings. One of his famous lines is, so the plot could happen. It's like things happen, so the plot could happen.
But what
instead
plot?
Instead of the characters being intelligent. But that's
the
thing.
loom is the plot.
And when you reduce the characters to idiots, so the plot could happen, it means you have no plot.
I just didn't understand. And then, like, I don't know, like, and I'm so glad you mentioned episode 4. Like, listen, when man's turned into Linguini, I was like, oh shit, okay, it's real. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it made me so happy because I was like, yo, that shit crazy. That shit went hard. But then it made me mad again because I was like, God damn it, if you just do something like that to make me feel what's going on and understand. You're talking, not to say that I can't understand, like, if you explain it, but like, you're talking about the physics of this and that and that. I don't give a shit. What happened in fucking Infinity War? You turn into potpourri in my hands. Anybody can understand that. Yep. Mance walked outside and turned to a linguine with meatballs. That meant something to me. And like, if you gave me that, I'm like, oh, this is why this matters. Not OB yelling. First of all, OB was also like a cross between the White Rabbit and Wizard of and fucking Alice in Wonderland and the Keymaker in the Matrix. Don't tell me he's not a crossover of those two characters. I just like, and I love Ke Huy Quan. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. The dad from Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his name right. Ki Kui Kwan. He's amazing. I just don't understand. Like, I feel like with OB, I'm like, oh, he's not repeating.
like,
and I get it. That he's Ober's. I know, you're repeating yourself. That's what you do. Ha ha.
Yeah, it was really annoying when when this episode, he was like, it's like a snake eating its own tail.
When they said that, I'm like, that's akin to the character saying the name of the movie. Because it always happens, right?
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah, and that's like really, like, I don't want to say bad, like, that's like low-hanging fruit of a
It's
joke
low-hanging
right there.
fruit.
Yeah, it was really low-hanging fruit. And he's low-hanging fruit because I predicted if he didn't do a show about the third one, but as soon as, he's like, oh, I've been having this conversation. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to waste a lot of time with this conversation between these two because they're both fans of each other. And it's like all these things, like the whole idea of Miss Minutes winning a body. Who cares? Why?
And it's like I get it and I don't. I'm like, where did that come from? Like, that whole love triangle. I'm what?
Miss Minutes supposed to be a super hyper intelligent thing. Ain't nobody with this dude gonna want to smash. Like, what are you talking about, baby? Like, let's be for real.
To me, it reduced her to just being a typical like, I can't do that, sir.
Yeah,
like, it's a typical murderous AI as opposed to
instead of like one who's actually hyper intelligent. Like, why would she want a body? Why would she want to fuck this dude? What? Like,
it was so weird when she was giving me like weirdo vibes. I was just like,
what?
But I will say two things I laughed at. I know I was supposed to laugh at, but Mans turned into angel hair pasta, and when Miss Minutes had that look in her face when General Dox and her crew was getting hemmed up in the box.
Yeah,
Miss Minutes just kept going like this, like yes. I was just like, yo, she wildin'. Like it was funny. I ain't gonna hold you. I was laughing
through this whole thing were great. And when she told my man, "You'll never be him," that was great.
Tara Strong, you was amazing. We know that. We've interviewed her many times, actually.
See?
But
another thing we got to bring up again. See, these things don't, people don't understand.
But no, like, as I'm saying, it's just like so much talent and so much things you could do with the people. And then, like I said, just going back to the whole nerfing of the Loki, and I'm just like, I didn't see nothing cool until like towards the last episode. And it's like, it's all this fucking running and all this, just stupid shit happening. Mans had two of his shadows grab a man. Mans created a whole gang of people, different people, literally individual looking people that looked menacing and then weren't even fucking real. Like, he could do that on a whim. He made a guy teleport from one space to another. When he was at Victor Timely's showing his presentation, he was pissed over Big Man. He said fuck you and put him in a crate, right? Like, he can do this shit on a randomly. And I'm just like, and I understand, like, when you're in public place, you gotta be careful, this and that, but it's just like the times where it wouldn't have mattered. It's like, why didn't he just use his powers?
And when you have magic, that's the problem, because when you have these magical characters, it's hard to write for them because they can do so much. And when you have a super intelligent character, it's hard to write for them because it's hard to be super intelligent. But you gotta be smarter than saying, oh, I want to buy
it. Worked the first season.
And then the other...
And yes, they took away the magic the first season because the TVA full force. I heard you, but they got around it.
I mean, and I don't mind the magic shit. I get you, like, he should have flown, whatever, but...
Anything, not just any fucking thing.
Anything. But my problem is when this episode ended with the whole thing blowing up and then it cuts to black and I'm supposed to care.
Because they wanted it to be like an Infinity War type of situation.
No, it ain't. It ain't, fam. We already know these niggas gonna be back. It's a temporal explosion. Something, they're going to be thrown into some time. They'll be put into another time.
Yeah.
Like that. And that's what it even undercut, Timely getting linguini. Because it's like he gets linguini and then...
It could have ended there. Yeah, to be honest with you, if you really wanted to strike fear, you should have ended it fucking there. Because I was laughing, but it was nervous laughter.
Yes. But then when everybody gets blown up, it's like there ain't no way you're going to kill the stars of the show. You ain't got that type of heart, Marvel.
Y'all did it once. I don't think y'all gonna do it again, and not in a TV show anyway.
Yeah, and it's like there's nobody else established to take this show over right now. Where if that was that would just be way too daring. Then I think that it's not as pointlessly daring at that point. You gotta have somebody sitting around that the audience should relate to. If we just suddenly switch to some other perspective of somebody, the audience should be like, "What the fuck, dude?" And unless Loki and them come back halfway through the next episode, then they're gonna be really pissed. And I just don't think.
He's coming back one way, shape, or form. He's not dead.
Yeah, sadly, I just don't think that Marvel is that daring right now. And that's when I think they're big issues. because they're not that daring, they wouldn't do something like that. Like replace the whole cast next episode and not bring them back till like episode 6. That would be like, wow.
That goes back to, you don't even have the time to be doing shenanigans.
That's the other problem.
You have 2 episodes.
You should have blown everybody up in the first episode and replaced them in the second episode, but you don't have the time to do that.
Oh, and we never even mentioned your homegirl, your love of your life. Ravonna got pruned immediately.
Man,
if she is good, really, she looked good getting pruned. But like that was startling to me. I was like, oh, okay, that was that.
It was, because everything gets wiped out now.
Right now, it kind of undermines it. But if it, like to your point, like if it was like that, and then homeboy turned into spaghetti soup, then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's not like that. So we'll see. We got 3 more episodes. Expectations are low. On that note, and people have been talking about this, the Marvels, the what's the word? Embargo does not let up until the day the movie comes out. 2 things this could be: the movie's trash and they're shook, or the movie reveals so much that they don't want it to get out. Once again, I don't know how daring Marvel is right now, so I'm leaning on, sadly, the former. I'm hoping for the latter. My bet is for the former. I've not felt any of the trailers. I love these characters. No,
not even the latest one. The latest one.
I didn't watch the latest one. I didn't watch the latest one because I
came out like last month.
Yeah, I'm like, now let me, at this point, let me just see the movie. I don't want to, I don't want to.
The one that came out last month was fairly fun. So
okay.
So I thought.
Okay, well, I'm hoping for the best. I love these characters. I'm hoping for the best.
I just want to see a different take on Monica.
I do too. I did not Nia DaCosta, right? I'm hoping for her. I did not like Candyman. I loved her first film though. That's the thing. But I didn't like Candyman. So, it's like, she 1 for 1 for me right now. So hopefully, 2 for 1.
I'm still optimistic then.
I'm optimistic. I'm going in purely optimistic. I got to have faith that they get Monica right. Because God damn it.
Because
Monica can't go 0 for 2.
It's
Nia DaCosta, she'll be fine. Monica can't go 0 for 2.
In my mouth, Monica, since WandaVision. So,
yeah. Monica.
But yeah, that's some. But yeah, episode 4 was the best of the Loki series thus far. At season 2 of Loki series.
Undermined by that ending.
And unfortunately, undermined by that group death though, that was fucked up. That was fucked up. When you saw how that box worked, that
was grimy.
That was some grimy shit.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. And my man's an idiot, but
Yeah, and not at all how I expected any of that to go. So I was like, oh
no, yeah, okay. But once again, I predict all of them will be back next episode. The show's soft like bread.
Damn.
Yeah. It doesn't have the heart, you know what I mean? Just wash them people out of existence like that. Wow. I don't think so.
Well, in other news, we also went to New York Comic Con, had a blast there.
We did a lot.
We did a lot. And all the footage is coming out. We actually had to redo it because, bots are haters. And we had to kind of redo a few videos because of some stupid shit. But it's coming back up. It's getting re-uploaded so you guys can see all the interviews and some of the footage that we shot of all the amazing cosplay. You'll see some more also just on our socials as well. But I had a great time. We were in Artist Alley a lot, actually. Had a fantastic interview with Steph. I almost used her screen name, Steph, I will. But with Stephanie Williams, a bunch of creators, animators, like everybody. Just everybody. We talked to so many damn people in Artist Alley. The cosplayers, beautiful. Beautiful as always. I really love that video of all the footage we got. What are you looking forward to everyone seeing?
My interview with Tom Mandrake, the artist of Hendrix. Because that was one of the big moments for me of New York Comic Con. Me and Mello did this book with Tom Mandrake without ever having met in person. we did one Zoom call, and then we talked on emails mainly other than that. And this was our first time ever meeting in person. And that was like a really awesome moment for me because Tom is just an amazing artist.
Did you walk up to him and be like, "Hey, my name's DJ Benhameen"? Like, how did I do that?
I DM'd him before, and we were, we'd been chatting it up.
But when you walked up, did he realize it was you? Or?
Yeah, definitely. We've done Zoom, and he follows me. We see each other's faces. We know who what we look like and stuff. Yeah, like we both follow each other on Instagram and stuff. So we know what we look like. But yeah, it was like I walked up, and his back was to me, and so this woman sitting next to me, and I like point to her, and I'm like, that's him, and I'm like, hey, you got him. And he turns around and, stands up and starts smiling and, like, oh, let me come around and come out. Yeah. It was great, and then we talked and, the interview is basically me trying to get him to admit how much he loves Hendrix and loved working with me. So you'll get to see that. We talk a little bit about the book without giving away too much. And it was just a very dope moment. And I was just really happy to meet him in person. And we talked about this at the Afrofuturism panel and, talk about it more, but Hendrix is coming out next July now. I know everyone who pre-ordered, it was supposed to come out in November, but it got pushed back to next July because honestly, it just wasn't ready yet, and everybody wants to make it as great as it can be. So got pushed back to July, and we're debuting at San Diego Comic-Con next year. So me and Tom will be out there for that, probably Mello as well. And I can't wait because it's my first time ever going to San Diego Comic-Con.
Guess I got to go too.
Hey, yeah, you got to go. And my book is debuting, so shit's going to be fucking crazy.
Guess I got to put in. It might be too late now. I got to put in for my press pass.
I know, right? Shit, I need to put in for one. Shit.
I don't think you need to do anything. I think you're good.
I mean, I don't know, Look, I like Titan. I don't love them, Yeah. They're a great publishing company, though. You know what I mean? Good people over there at Titan.
Look at trying to clean that up.
But, I don't love nobody. I like everybody. But shout outs to Titan. Make sure y'all go pre-order Hendrix. It's still available for pre-order.
Good.
It's going to be so beautiful when it drops. Like,
yes.
I was tight,
beautiful.
but
I synced it. Not everything, but I synced it.
Yeah. I look at it, pretty much every day, at least a few pages a day, and it's something, man. And I really can't wait for y'all to read this. I'm really proud of it. I think, shout outs to Leslie that God willing, we'll be able to get it up in the museum as well because it needs to be right up there. It's Afrofuturism at its finest, and it's Black history at its finest, and Black music at its finest, and it's a really great comic book, very great graphic novel right there.
Of course. Yeah. Damn, did we do everything? Did we tell people caught up on everything?
I think so. Anything else that was going on at New York Comic Con? Shout outs to Dwight and shout outs to Dan over at Marvel Legends because we spent mad time harassing y'all. Well, I spent mad time harassing y'all, and they were always loving and supportive and so chill every time we came through. So, and I bought way too many Marvel Legends. As y'all see behind me, I've got...
When I say, I felt like I was, trying to stop Benhameen from, wasting his life, not wasting, but using his life savings. Every time I seen him, this man had, 2 or 3 more figurines in his pocket, in his bag. And I'm like, what are you doing? He was like, oh, nah, it don't stop. It don't stop.
And I got him on deals, man.
He did get good deals, though. I was with him a couple of times. He did good deals.
Yeah, as y'all see behind me, I have a lot. And so at this point, I only buy them when I can get a deal. I do not pay, I don't pay that aftermarket price, none of that shit. I'm waiting till y'all drop it on sale, even if I'm buying aftermarket for the most part. I'm going to pay a lot for this fucking Archangel figure, though. I'm going to pay
It's Archangel, what are you doing? But also,
unless somebody out there got one, let me put this out there. Shit happens when I do. I need a Marvel Legends Archangel figure. If anyone has an extra one, let me know, please. I will pay for it,
Okay. Yeah. I wanted to give a very special shout out, love, and just thank you to Joel. Joel, I always say he's the intern. No, Joel, you a team member, okay?
He's getting recognized mad times when I was with him too.
Joel, really? So yes. Joel, if you are on our socials as you should be, Joel does the comics I cop. Joel has
recognized.
Done so much behind the scenes.
I seen the videos. I kept hearing that over and over.
Yes. Joel did a fantastic job. They even did an interview in Artist Alley as well. Joel, you were amazing there. We absolutely needed you there, and so happy that you were able to come out. So thank you once again. I told you how much I love you, but I just want you to hear it on the show. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Word up. Anything else before we get out of here?
I just want to tell Loki, why are you running? Why are you running?
Hey y'all, thank you for watching this For All Nerds video. Whatever video it was that you just watched, make sure you hit these buttons below. Press all those buttons, that like, that subscribe, whatever you see right below these fingertips right here. Just hit them, hit them, hit them.